Oh, yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Which is, okay, we do need to talk about that one day. Because your Letterboxd review of that was criminal. What'd you give it, 1 star?
He should have jumped, man.
No. You're missing the whole point. That's the point of the movie.
Hello and welcome to the Super 70 Podcast, episode 34.4, the Holdovers Holiday Special Part Deux. My good friend Dave Anderson went to go see the Holdovers on my recommendation, and he listened to my last podcast episode with great envy. Jealous that he could not participate, he texted me, begged me, pleaded with me to come back into the Hacienda and to discuss what must be the first Christmas classic in 20 years, and what may be the last one in a very long time.
We're going to talk briefly about the Holdovers.
Yeah, what did you think?
I just published an episode about 20-25 minutes with my son Luke about what I thought about the Holdovers.
I did hear, which I was kind of disappointed. It's like, oh my gosh, I really enjoyed that. So that was, man, that was a good flick. I didn't think would ever happen again, which is a Christmas classic. You know? Because it's been, what's the last Christmas classic that's not Die Hard? I mean,
Christmas Vacation?
Elf
I think,
is 20 years. I think
Yeah.
Polar Express is 1 year more recent.
I think Polar Express is a Christmas classic for kids.
It is.
I don't think it's a Christmas classic for everybody.
No, I tend to agree. It's not a general audience Christmas classic, but yeah, maybe it's Elf.
And what's the record for that? Like Miracle on 34th Street? Did that run it for like 30? Well,
Yeah, probably.
or the Capra movie.
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Which is, okay, we do need to talk about that one day. Because your Letterboxd review of that was criminal. What'd you give it, 1 star?
He should have jumped, man.
No. You're missing the whole point. That's the point of the movie. That's the funny thing. That's the thing I found very funny about that movie, right? Is kind of like the Holdovers, right? The vast majority of the movie is kind of painful, right? What the characters are going through is rough stuff, right? So the part that we think of, that popular culture thinks of from the It's a Wonderful Life, is such a small percentage of that whole movie. It's remarkable, right? That may be, 12 minutes? 10, 8? And the Holdovers is similar in many regards because it's not a rough watch by any stretch. It's actually really entertaining and really fun. But the Christmas parts are so special because they're so small, but they're so powerful, in my opinion.
Sorry, I just wanted to pull up the cast to the Holdovers since it was just so amazing. When's the last time we had a Christmas classic?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's been a very long time since there was. I mean, it seems like based on the interviews that Alexander Payne is kind of embarrassed by this being considered as such.
Really?
Yeah, that's the readings I've gotten that I've seen. He's kind of, explicitly stating that wasn't his objective, which I find counterintuitive to watching the movie.
The whole fucking plot.
I know. It's one of those that, and maybe I'm misinterpreting and maybe I'm mistaken, so I'll go back and check, but I'm pretty sure it was like, okay, this is what I wasn't setting up to do, which, okay, I can see that. But there does appear to be some degree of bafflement that people are taking it as such, where it's like, no, this is actually a dead-on Christmas movie, right? And it's not cynical. It's not ironic. It's genuine, which is really nice, which is one of the things I liked about it, which you don't see all that often where it's not painful, right? If you see something that's legitimately heartfelt, usually it's kind of sappy, right? Except for the ones that aren't, which then become the classics. And this is definitely one of them. I mean, there's a whole bunch of... It's a very contained story, both from a time frame and a scope. But it's really something you can invest in pretty quickly. I took my wife and my son to it, and I I can't remember the last time I laughed that hard, and
it was hysterical.
Yeah,
man.
and the last time I came that close to tears, being a man, I cry not at movies at all.
That fucking time that Dominic Sena says to the group, he's like, I thought all the Nazis were in Argentina. I just like, we've all had that teacher.
Right.
We've all had that guy who's just like, this guy will not let up. I thought that was a universal experience.
No, it really was. It was, which is ironic, considering when was it based? When's the time
1972, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's essentially 51 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it feels very universal, and I didn't go to a boarding school.
No, I didn't.
But it
either.
seemed very authentic to what it would be, even if it's not. It felt like it should be.
Well, this is also a time and a place where boarding schools are actually more affordable than they are now.
That's true. That's true.
One aspect of it. It's more universal. It was an
option for many people.
It was an option.
Of course, it's not like any of the students there were not from exceptionally well-to-do, families.
Right. Well, the Barton school where it was seems to be like it was a lower end of the scale in terms of.
Yeah, I'd seen that too.
But you had schools like that all over the Northeast.
Yeah.
I had a cousin that went to one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did your cousin think of the experience?
I don't know. Well, he went to fucking Syracuse, so he thought it was great.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because that's what got him into Syracuse. Okay. The atmosphere, and I know that we were born in a certain time in a certain place where we remember the atmosphere. That the atmosphere felt like the time and a place where I was born. And I spent the early part of my life.
Sure. And
I really found a lot of the elements in the film were just so extraordinarily familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely felt like someone created it based on what they knew, not as opposed to what they'd seen.
Right. And I found that the costumes were so well done, it looked like they came out of a vintage store as opposed to what a designer would think people wore back in 1970s.
Yeah, you definitely felt like you were watching a movie from 1972, not a movie from 2023 that was set in 1972, for sure. It looked like it was just a lost film that suddenly came back. And I've seen a lot of people comparing it to Hal Hartley movies, and that's not unreasonable.
Dave is on his 4th IPA and has made a mistake. He is referring to Hal Ashby, the auteur director of such classics as Coming Home, The Last Detail, Shampoo, and 8 Million Ways to Die.
Right, but it kind of was like, oh, here's a lost film by, say, Hal Hartley. Doesn't really matter.
Can you give us an example of a Hal Hartley movie?
The only thing I can really think of immediately is, let's see, you have Harold and Maude.
Was that Hal Ashby?
That is Hal Ashby. God.
Who the fuck is Hal Hartley?
I'm going to chalk that up to 4 IPAs and half a pizza.
Oh, he's a director. He directed Trust in 1990.
Yeah, that's not the person I'm thinking of, though. I'm obviously off by a couple of syllables and letters.
He's done tons of TV.
Hal Ashby.
36 credits.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not a Payne fan, but I saw that Sideways was one of your favorite films.
Well, it is right now. Right, I don't know about you, but I change my top 4 on Letterboxd all the time.
Oh, do you? No,
I change it all the time. And I do remember watching Sideways and just being kind of similar to this, where I was like just flabbergasted how much I enjoyed it. And, Giamatti is a consistent between those two, and he is he can be really good. He can also be kind of mediocre. Take The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah.
Spectacular Spider-Man 2, whichever Spider-Man 2 it is. Where he's the Rhino, that was pretty fucking terrible.
What the fuck did they do to his eye?
I don't know. That is one thing I'd like to see. It doesn't look like digital. It might be, but they did it really well.
It was really off.
Yeah, but it was like this is a special effect. I haven't looked it up yet.
His nickname was Walleye. There were just a lot of things like that I thought really popped through.
Yeah, no, it was the biggest surprise I've probably had in a good 6 months.
What was the most touching part of the story? Because there were 3 narratives going on at the same time.
Touching part of the story, or the most touching scene, or what do you mean exactly?
Well, you had Tully's story about his father,
right.
And then you had Walleye's story about I'm stuck at this school because I'm a fuck up. You had Mary Lamb's story about losing her son.
Right, and that to me was the most touching. I mean, that sequence near the end of the film, where she's putting the baby clothes back in the dresser, was pretty hard to watch and pretty well done. You know, it's like, oh, okay. You don't have to beat me over the head with your message. You just have a couple seconds here, and it's like, oh, okay.
It wasn't shoved in your face.
No, not shoved in your face, and it's really subtle filmmaking and storytelling, which I really appreciated. I mean, but all of their journeys were really quite good. And the kid, Dominic Sessa?
Yeah.
I can't remember Hal Ashby, you know, because I'm thinking he's Hal Hartley. But I got his name right. I guess this was his first film ever.
They found him at one of the schools they were shooting at.
The school they were shooting at.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean,
I
wouldn't have guessed that in 100 years.
He was spectacular.
Yeah. And I don't know if we'll ever see him again. Maybe not. Maybe it's best if we don't. But
yeah. Well, that scene of him and Giamatti in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
You think about like a 20 or 21-year-old kid
doing that
with Giamatti going toe to toe
with no, and maybe that's why he was able to be so successful. He's like, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be able to do this. You know.
Oh yeah, like the Orson Welles comment of I didn't know that I couldn't do that, so therefore.
Right. But it was still, regardless of the why, it was very compelling, right? And no, it's up there. It was one of the best movies I've seen in several years.
I couldn't believe how good. I told my son didn't want to see it. I went to go see it with my wife. We both loved it, and I told my son, "You need to go take your grandmother. You need to go see it." And of course, my mother just bawled through the whole thing.
Yeah, I cried the whole time.
Just thought it was wonderful. And in terms of being a Christmas story, and I've got a very complicated relationship with Christmas because of my father dying so close to Christmas. It's colored so many thereafter. I haven't really enjoyed Christmas in decades. I've only just recently, in the past few years, have just gotten into like the Christmas mood.
Right.
And I'm not a really big Christmas movie guy, which may be why I'm not a particularly fan of It's a Wonderful Life. But I do like Christmas Vacation. I think that movie is astounding. Mm-hmm. And I do like Die Hard. And I do think Die Hard is a Christmas movie because it takes place on Christmas Eve at a Christmas party, which is the only time they can pull this heist off.
Right. And, it's Christmas, Theo.
And yeah, right. So it has sacrifice. It has redemption. It has... all of these themes. And I see the same thing in the Holdovers. Holdovers has a sacrifice. It has a resurrection, if you will. Mm-hmm. It has all these things that fall in with these Christmas movies. Yeah. And I think it's they're apparently, if you look at any Hallmark movie, you'll find these themes replicated.
Oh yeah. This is the best Hallmark movie ever. And that's not being pejorative.
Right. Well, apparently I have taken a poll among my wife's family.
Okay.
And about Christmas movies. And I will tell you that the Christmas movie that bar none everyone loves is Hanukkah on Rye.
Never heard of this.
Which is a Hallmark Jewish movie about Hanukkah, which apparently they watch every fucking Christmas because it's so amazing.
I have never heard of this.
Not either.
This is Gilbert's, huh? All dated.
In a city of 18 million people, how do you find the one?
I've signed you up with a very famous matchmaker in Brooklyn.
No texting, no email. What's left? Writing letters?
Can you imagine if people still use the matchmaker?
I bet it's nice to get to know someone on a deeper level.
It's a new romance with an old world twist.
Aha! So the matchmaker was right.
Hanukkah on Rye. On Hallmark.
But that's your favorite Christmas movie? That's my favorite Hallmark Christmas movie too. Okay, so you understand that Hanukkah movie is not a Christmas.
Well, I mean,
it's a holiday.
By definition,
it's a holiday movie.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing with Christmas is it's not about. This is such a cliche, right? It's not about Santa. It's not about the tree. It's not about the gifts. It's not about any of that stuff. It's all about the reconnections with
spirit
family.
Of reconnection.
It is all that, right? So this is one of those that really focuses on that in healing, which Lord knows over the past 8 years seems like social media and popular culture and everything else is not. They say they're interested in it, but there's no action towards it. And this is one of those where it's like, okay, let's actually just observe people coming together from a very naturalistic perspective, right? There's no crazy hijinks that makes it happen. It just seems very natural and organic. So it's delightful.
Excellent. What's your second favorite Christmas movie?
Second favorite authentically Christmas movie, right? Because
Die
Hard is obviously
it's
a Christmas movie, but it's definitely a Christmas Story.
Oh yeah,
laugh my ass off every single year. It's hilarious. The duck, and
smiling.
The Bupkis's dogs. And, Darren McGavin is amazing. I mean, I'll watch it just for that. I will just, I'm going to watch the supercut of Darren McGavin losing his mind in the Christmas Story. He's going to go fight the furnace, right? And it's one of those that I didn't live in that time. I have no idea how authentic it is, but it feels authentic, right? It's portrayed with such love and care and humor that it feels right. So that's definitely my favorite.
The trash dumpster fight in the alleyway. With Scott Farkas.
Scott Farkas. He had yellow eyes. I swear to Christ, yellow eyes.
I had a coworker explain to me how that was relevant in our workplace.
Okay.
And he played it on YouTube. He's like, see, this is exactly how we work.
It's universal. It's all connected.
The leg lamp.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for someone to say, that hasn't aged well.
No, it's aged perfectly well. It's aged perfectly well. It's a fabulous price.
Is there rewatchables on the Christmas Story?
I doubt it.
And the question is, why not? There needs to be one.
There needs to be one. Yeah, because it's definitely in Bill Simmons' wheelhouse. He's the same age as us, for God's sakes.
And we used to say that in the schoolyard when we were, I'll double dog dare you.
Yeah, triple dog dare you. He jumped right ahead. Right. The Red Ryder BB gun. Yeah, I'm probably watching that tonight now. Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot your eye out, kid.
Exactly.
Carbach has a beer called...
you will shoot your eye out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I think they changed the formula on that over the past few years. They got bought by InBev. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want
to prejudice any.
I don't want to throw false accusations, but I'd heard that their formula has changed. Don't know if it's true or not. I haven't bought it in a couple of years.
What are you going to watch next?
From a Christmas movie perspective or just in general?
Just in general.
Well, I'd like to see Ferrari next. I know what you're seeing next. What are you seeing next by chance?
Oh, I got a Bollywood movie tonight. Let me pull it up for our listeners. Starring King Khan of India.
Not King Kong.
Not King Kong. King Khan. Shah Rukh Khan, who is the biggest movie star in the world.
कभी-कभी हम मुश्किल रास्ता सिर्फ इसलिए चुनते हैं क्योंकि हमें लगता है इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें पाने के लिए हमें मुश्किल रास्ता अपनाना चाहिए. अपने आप को पनिश करना बहुत जरूरी समझते हैं, पर why? आसान रास्ता क्यों नहीं चुनते? क्या बुराई है उसमें? खास करके जब उस मुश्किल का सामना करने के लिए हम तैयार ही नहीं हैं. बेकार के पहाड़ क्यों चढ़?
कसम खा अपनी दादी थी कि आज के बाद इंग्लैंड की बात भी नहीं सोचेगा.
मैं बुग्गू लखनपाल कसम खाता हूँ कि आज के बाद मैं लंदन जाने की सोचूं भी तो.
लाइको मेरी कसम क्यों खाते हो हमेशा?
मेरी दादी मर जाए.
सतनाम वाहिगुरु.
मेरी पूरी फैमिली है ये 4 उल्लूदे पट्टे जो लंदन जाना चाहते हैं. उनमें एक लड़की है मन्नू. हमारा जो पहला बच्चा होगा ना उसका नाम मैं आप पे रखूं. आप अपना नाम बताओ बस. मेरी तरफ से नाम डन है.
वांगी पुरप्पू और वेंकट कुप्पू.
कोई बात नहीं सर, आप लिख के दे दो.
बॉलीवुड के किंग खान यानी शाहरुख खान आज अपना बर्थडे सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं. इस मौके पर शाहरुख खान ने
2.5 hours long.
That's going to be a haul, but that's okay. I think if I don't know exactly what I'm going to watch next, right? But from a new release perspective, it'd probably be American Fiction or Ferrari.
Yeah,
that's what I think. If I could just go see something tomorrow, that's probably what it'd be.
We're going to see this tonight. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to rewatch Dark Phoenix with my daughter.
Why?
Everybody says that. I love Dark Phoenix.
Nicole has a bone to pick with you on that topic.
Really?
I told her you liked it, and she said
she needs to come on the Super 70s.
She said that's one of the worst movies she'd ever seen.
Yeah, everybody says that.
So why are you veering? I'm not saying that you should just follow the popular opinion, but what about it works for you? I've not seen it, so I don't.
Maybe I need to bring the mics up, and we need to go in the backyard and put Nicole on, and
maybe.
We should extend that invitation. I don't know if the Holdovers episode is going to be the place to discuss Dark Phoenix and my obsession.
It may not be.
I think it's a great movie. Anyway, okay, so should we end?
Yeah, I think we should pause and shut it down.
Well, then I want to say a Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you, and Happy New Year if we don't see each other, and all that good stuff.
Happy Winter Solstice and Happy Hanukkah to all of our Jewish friends.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. And thank you very much for making the trip down.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thanks for hosting.
Thanks for listening to Dave and I rant on about the Holdovers and other various topics. You can find me, my books, and my blog at www.thatdylandavis.com. I'm also on Letterboxd and Threads. All music is done by Rosalind McPhail. I'm Dylan Davis, and we'll meet next time in Tokyo.
My films are successful because so many lives are attached to it. So I feel really sad. Two things make me very sad. One, the people who are attached. Now, whoever works with me, I'm the senior most in the film, in every which way. As number of years and age and stage. And then I let down those 200-300 people if my film doesn't do well. Because their hopes are pinned on me. And they work very hard. And they work very hard to make me look good. So I've not looked good enough in a film. Second part is the audience who comes down to see the film and they're like expecting certain hours of entertainment and I leave them unentertained. That's really saddening. It's like letting down your own children. So these two things bother me. The success is not, success is actually just a measure of how many people enjoyed the film. So I'm okay with that. But like you said, you know, the more I've worked, the more I've realized how less I know of acting. And now I'm really wishing, you know, that if I can have good 10 years, 15 years of acting more, maybe I'll be able to discover so many things which I was unknowledgeable about. So I think that really excites me now, to find more about acting.